Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world and whenever you are watching. And this is the final round, can you believe it, of the Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition, round 9 of 9. And we're returning to where we started, the Hockenheimring. My name is James Kirk, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. Robert Muller. And Rob, to be fair, we were thinking there might be a lot of change after last round at Spielberg. Wasn't to be. Turns out that there's actually been a lot decided already in regards to the total context of the championship. Still a couple of stories to still with loose ends to tie up though.
Yeah, hello everyone. It was quite an exciting race at Spielberg last week, and now we're already here for the final race. And of course, it's the final race online, but the final event is still coming up on October the 13th at the Hockenheimring, live at the paddock, at the Mercedes AMG Hospitality. There's the final. The top 6 drivers of this championship, they will race against the 6 Mercedes AMG DTM drivers.
And actually, let's just confirm for the audience, the drivers that have already qualified by taking a look at the championship standings going in to this final round of the main season. Jack Keithley, he is not here today. Got in a couple of tussles last time in Spielberg. No repercussions for him at all, but he's decided to play it safe this time around. He is unbeatable. He has won the main season. Kevin Siggy, Jaroslav Honzik, Tim Heinemann, and Julian Kunze all also qualified. The only way that any of those top 5 can change now is if Tim Heinemann gets a significant penalty, which, fingers crossed, shouldn't be the case. It leaves that final spot open, Rob, but only just as it turns out. Florian Hasse needs to non-score, and the only person who is here who can possibly compete is Nick Madsen. He needs to win the race, so Florian Hasse, it's such a small margin of error for him to lose this P6 now, but he still needs to get the job done today.
Yeah, but Nick Madsen, I mean, it's a huge task for him. He hasn't won a race this season. He's currently in 9th place in the practice session, and he has to win if he wants to qualify for the final event, if he wants to be there at the live event in the Mercedes AMG Hospitality, if he wants to go for the prize for a Mercedes AMG driving experience. So I'm sure he's really prepared for this race, but it's a huge task, and I'm not really sure if he can do it. But we will find out, and this is the schedule that we have for the race today. We're currently in the warm-up session. We've got 10 minutes of qualifying and then 20 minutes of the race coming up.
Yeah, followed by driver interviews as well, of which those did get very interesting last time in Spielberg. Went on for a little while actually, so be sure to stay for all of the upcoming proceedings as the practice session finishes up and we head straight into qualifying. I believe Tim Heineman's still on top of things there. Of course, Tim Heinemann won the first race of the season at the Hockenheimring as well, so it's kind of hard to look past him, Rob, since he's already won here. Then again, there are so many opportunities on this track to overtake, so many opportunities for things to go wrong. The German, who's had an eventful campaign, shall we say, still has time to slip up.
Yeah, but I think this time for Tim Heinemann, it's it's good because this is probably one of his best circuits. We can see Tim here on the screen in the pink car with the number 46, the BWT Mercedes. Yeah, so I think he's the favorite coming into this round, especially because Jack Keithley isn't here. He's already won the online part of the season, so he doesn't have to participate. He tried to qualify and he actually failed to qualify. That's the big story though. So I don't know how hard he was trying for this round, but the final race at the Hockenheimring, of course, will be on the same track, so this should be a good preparation for all of these drivers, and I'm kind of surprised that Jack isn't here today, but it gives Tim Heinemann a very good shot at winning this race maybe, and have a good end to a troubled season, I would say. He was one of the fastest drivers in almost all of the races, but he had some trouble, fighting with the other guys, especially with Jack Keithley. There were some smaller accidents, some bigger ones, but it will be interesting to see how it will turn out.
I was thinking it kind of goes against Jack's personality not to qualify, and then again I do wonder how seriously he was taking. We will see anyway. on board with our race winner from last time out, Jaroslav Honzik, a very popular victory in the paddock, that one. And we're going to go on board with him to see just what this Hockenheimring circuit has got to offer us. Heading on to the main straight now and into turn 1, the Nord curve. It's a really dangerous turn 1 to try and navigate. I'm sure we'll see a lot of cars going off at the beginning of the race, and then it's a short run down to the hairpin of turn 2 before we flick left into turn 3 and onto the back curved straight, also known as turn 5, also known as the Parabolica. This is where the DRS will be in its biggest effect today. A massive DRS zone to take advantage of before we slam on the brakes into the hairpin. No more simple a name than that. And out we go now, hard on the accelerator, moving up towards the Mercedes arena through this right-hand kink of turn 7. You can really lose the car there if you've not got the right amount of downforce. And here we are then, turn 8, followed quickly by turn 9 and 10, and then straight onto this little straightaway before we're about to flick into a dynamic turn 11. A lot of drivers can get this wrong and go into the gravel trap on the left there. It's then another heavy braking zone into the hairpin of turn 12. Sucks. And then we've got a little flick left and flick right. That's turn 13, followed up by turn 14. And the final double right-hander of this circuit, turn 15, followed by the Sud curve of turn 16. It's a decent lap from Jaroslav Honzik. He was up there in the times for practice, but not good enough as it turns out. Only 4/10 off pole position, provisionally set by Tim Heinemann so far. But I think Jaroslav knows he can do a little bit better than that.
And you might have noticed Jaroslav Honzik is not in the same car as last time. He's now in the number 66 in the dark grey car, because his car, the number 22, is taken over by the VIP driver, Lukas Auer. And yes, it's the same guy who races in the real DTM.
The most success is quantitative, I guess, but in terms of race wins, this man is on fire. He's taken 3 race wins, the most of any DTM driver this season, 6th in the championship as well. By no means is Lukas a slouch. And actually, Rob, he was looking pretty rapid in the practice session, and currently P14 out of, I believe, 16 drivers. I think we've got
17. We've got 17 drivers.
We did have one missing, so it's only 17, right? But I'm sure Lukas is looking to maybe even qualify into the top 10. We've not had a VIP driver score all season, Rob. At this final round, he's very much the last bastion to try and show, hey, look, us real drivers can do e-racing decently as well.
Yeah, we had quite a few VIP drivers throughout the season. We had Pascal Wehrlein in the beginning, then Dani Juncadella. He was probably the most successful VIP driver in our races here. He came very close to the points several times. At Hungaroring, he was really competitive. And then also, I think it was at the Lausitzring, where he also had a really strong performance. We had Maximilian Goetz, we had Karl Wendlinger, and we had Thomas Jäger. And now Lukas Auer. And I have to say, he's looking strong.
He comes across the line then. We were just having a look, and he's up to P12. That's pretty decent. I think Russia, Juncadella, was pretty good as well. I seem to remember him being taken out, or maybe having 1 or 2 spins. But either way, this is Lukas Auer's turn now, and we'll see just what he can provide. And if he can improve into the top 10. One man that is going into the top 10 is Zen Gaffinen, but not the Zen Gaffinen that we remember, Rob. I believe.
Whoa, where is he? Where is he going?
A save, I guess. We only caught the end of that, but this is Julian Zen Gaffinen, not Manuel Zen Gaffinen. I believe they are brothers. They both work for the same outfit, VTMliga.de, and that's a very nice time actually from Julian to put himself up in P7. 4 minutes of qualifying left though, Rob, and it's Heinemann from Sigi Rebenak, Honzik rounding out your top 3.
Yeah, so it's the usual suspects. Kunze in 4th, Schön at 5th, Ivanov in 6th, and then Zen Gaffinen, who's the fastest rookie here in the race. Nick Madsen, 9th position at the moment.
He needs to pull one out, doesn't he, if he wants any chance of qualifying for the top 6.
He's ahead of Florian Hasse.
True, but he needs to win. There is no other viable scenario, so unless we see 8 cars take each other out at the first corner, if positions stay as they are, of course, then there's not much point. I mean, Haas is only one position outside the top 10. Madsen is 8 away from first. And it looks like Haas might be on to improve that position significantly. Indeed, he does, up to P6, the German.
Good lap by Florian Hasse, and I think he just really needs to play it safe to qualify here for the final event. We've got 3 minutes left in the qualifying session, and we've got Julian Kunze on a purple first sector.
He's been a solid force in this championship, Julian Kunze. He's missed a couple of rounds as well, actually, so there's no telling really how good it could have been for him. I mean, he's qualified, and at the end of the day, that's all you need to do is to find yourself in that top 6. But maybe he would have been second. Maybe he would have been challenging Keithley. We simply will not know. At least we hope not until another season comes around. Fingers crossed. Just heading through the Sector 2 split now is Julian Kunze, and he's still up on his time. But it's not a purple second sector. In fact, he's 2 to 3 tenths off Tim Heinemann's time. And even then, actually, unless he has a fabulous last sector, a little bit wobbly on the exit of Sachs there, I don't think he's going to improve from P4, unfortunately. He rounds turn 15 and turn 16 comes up rapidly now. And he's going to push the line going very wide on the exit of turn 16 there. And he does actually improve. It was a middling final sector, but it was good enough for P3.
Oh, and Honsik goes straight back into P3. As we're watching Hasse coming across the line, this could be an improvement as well. Yeah, moves into 5, ahead of Daniel Schön. Daniel Schön, he had a rough season. He can't qualify anymore in the eRacing competition, but still a good round here, good final race.
Bit wide again.
Yeah.
I'm taking liberties. And Schön does not improve. Only a minute and a half left, I believe. Well, Schön actually might be the last person to cross the line, Rob, because, of course, here in Race Room, qualifying does not end when the last car crosses the line. It ends when the timer hits 0. So everybody pretty much on circuit now on their final lap, looking at one of our debutants at the final round here, Ralph Benitez, the Brazilian. He's had a decent first sector, to be fair, but it's all unraveled in the final sector as Madsen there puts in his final lap. P8 for the Danish driver. Not looking too good, unfortunately. And I think, yeah, here comes Lucas R now. Oh, they're not great sectors either, are they? He was looking so strong in practice, but not able to put together a decent lap when it came to qualifying.
Oh, and that's it. Nice save, though.
Really nice save, yeah. It goes to show that although pace is temporary, class and skill most certainly is permanent. And that was a decent save there from Al, but only P15. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that. Looking to get ahead of our actually here is Steven Westerhoff, the Dutch driver, who I'm sure will be buoyed by proceedings in another championship, of course. Coming round the final corner now. Again, going wide. Will it see him go ahead of our? It does. He's off from the bottom and he's up to 14th. Although
Lucas Buron, one of the last ones to cross the line. He can't improve, so he stays behind Lucas R. But there's been a change at the front, and it's been Daniel Schön who moved up to 5th position.
Yeah, that was that final lap as well. And so Tim Heinemann then, he repeats proceedings from months ago. He takes pole position from Kevin Siggy, Jaroslav Honzik 3rd. Pretty much how we were expecting it, and at the end of the day, still a pretty close affair there, Rob. 2 tenths separating the top 4.
Yeah, close qualifying session, and Tim Heinemann, you know, just as he started the season, on Hockenheim, he's always really strong, and he's on the pole position. No Jack Keithley to mess with him in the races, so...
And you would say that from the number of times that there have been maybe 4 or 5 cars involved for the lead battle, it's been because Keithley and Heinemann have been coming together. So maybe, for once in this championship, Heinemann can just drive and not have to worry about a thing. But as we know in racing, Rob, things never seem to turn out how you expect them.
Yeah, that's maybe the big chance for Nick Madsen, but he needs some chaos to happen here in the race to qualify. 10 seconds before the race starts, no formation there, we go straight into the race. You can see the grid lining up there. Heinemann now on the grid with the 46.
20 minutes of racing action here to round off our season. It's been a fantastic one. Let's see a fantastic end We're racing here at the Hockenheimring for the second time, and it is a decent start from Heinemann, who's going to be unopposed going into turn 1. There is a couple of drivers going into battle with each other in early days. It seems like everyone's gotten through there. All right, nice start, guys. Heading into turn 2 then. A little early move from, who is that? I
think it's Kunze.
Kunze, yeah. And he's able to hold on there for now. Look at this, though. Heinemann and Siggy really starting to run away. Here comes Kunze and Honzik, though. The two drivers going side by side. DRS not in effect in these early laps, but Kunze seemingly has had a much, much better exit. That said, Honzik's going to be on the inside for the hairpin. And look at Siggy. He's trying to attack Heinemann in these early stages. Kunze fully around the outside. They're still going side by side. These two, fantastic opening bout between these two. Kunze going to try and go around the outside of the Kinky, who's going to be on the inside of the Mercedes arena now. Surely this is going to be position for Julian Kunze. Indeed it is. He was so persistent, so dogged. He's finally got it done with Honzik down to P4, Ivanov up to P6, and everyone else seemingly holding station minus Florian Hasse, who's had a nightmare of a first lap. He's down to P9. From P5 as then Gaffinen then moves into battle with Madsen, and Julian Gaffinen just about holding on there into P10. Good save from the Swiss driver as he was battling in the midfield there, but at the end of lap 1 it is Tim Heinemann from Kevin Siggy, and then it's Kunze, Honzik, Schund, Madsen, Ivanov, Hasse, Bunky, and then Gaffinen rounding out your top 10.
Oh, there's a huge crash in the background.
As who is that off? It's Westerhoff. Oh no, it's Zanatos. Oh, is it Otter?
It's Zanet? No, it's not our. It's Zanatos and Moisescu, I think.
Yeah. And those two flying off into the wall, unfortunately. And looks like Westerhoff was caught up in something as well. He's down to P15, unfortunately. Off at turn 1. And, well, it's the nature of the circuit, Rob. A lot of people in close proximity to each other. It was bound to happen at some point. Although here comes Kevin Siggy. Around the outside of the hairpin again. He's really on it, is the Austrian, looking to become the 4th different race winner this season. Nothing doing so far, though.
No, but he's trying. He hasn't won a race this season yet, and he's all over Tim Heinemann. Now with the DRS on the outside, Heinemann covers the line, though. Goes a bit deep.
And here comes Siggy on the cutback then on the inside of turn 13. Around the outside of turn 14. Not going to work this time around now. We're going to go into Mobile 1 corner. Turn 11, around the outside goes Kevin Siggy, clean around the outside. He takes to the curbing, but what a fantastic move that was. Tim Heinemann trying to hold on for dear life. He's trying to find a bit of purchase. He's not going to do it though, and what a sensation.
Oh, Heinemann!
Heinemann goes up the inside of turn 15. Oh, Kevin Siggy a little bit loose on the outside of turn 16 there, and Heinemann holds on for now though. Fantastic scrapping between these two.
Oh, Siggy's going for it once again into turn 1! How did he catch that? But that's not a great place to make a pass. And oh, in the background, that's Madsen.
Is it Madsen? Oh, but after he'd made such progress as well. Nick Madsen down to P10. And, well, I say, look at him going down to P10. Look at Lucas Auer. We have a VIP driver in the points, Rob.
Yeah, very nice race from Lucas Auer so far, but for Nick Madsen, that's a big drama. You could see he could catch up to the front with Heinemann and Siggy Revenak battling, and then he throws the car away, and that's probably his chances over.
And I mean, you got to look at Hasse as well. Needed Hasse to non-score and for Madsen to win. Hasse's recovered from his bad start. He's up into P5. And, well, as for Siggy, is that his chance of the win gone as well? A very over-optimistic move. Very un-Siggy-like. He's usually so considered in his approach to the race, but he's now looking to be under pressure from Kunze and Honzik behind rather than attacking Heinemann in front.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was going for it in this corner. He probably had DRS on the start-finish straight. But that's, I mean, you kind of know that you just can't make a clean move in this corner, and Heinemann just takes the racing line, but it's the 4th gear corner, maybe 5th gear even, depending on the gear setup that these drivers are running, and there's just no way you can pass there on the inside, and Siggy makes a bit of contact with Heinemann and then drops back and he loses a chance. He surely would have gotten in later on the lap, so it's just a move that I don't really understand.
Well, good news for Siggy is he at least has the better part of 15 minutes left to try and rectify, and he's certainly reeling Heinemann in once again. So we'll wait and see how that story progresses. Lucas Auer, though, he is pretty safely, say, inside the top 10 as well. Nick Madsen 2 seconds behind, and he's just keeping on the back of this train consisting of Zengaffinen, Banki and Ivanov. Very much a midfield battlers, back up to the front, sorry. Siggy with DRS. Battle is recommenced from Heinemann. I was expecting him to run away with this. Not the case.
And on this track, as we see a change there, Banki, Zengaffinen and Ivanov in the battle. Let's see.
I think it's Banki getting ahead of Ivanov there, who's fallen down to P7.
Banki in the silver and black colors, ahead of all of them.
Zengaffinen was considering a move there, not able to do anything.
And look at Lucas Auer, he's just sitting back, waiting there for a potential mistake. Zengaffinen, he has been all over the place on the first lap, so let's see what's going to happen here. Ivanov, the car ahead. Pink car, you can't really see it so well at the moment. Switch the camera probably.
Yeah, they did behind the cover of the stand there, and the hill as all Zengaffinen looking at the undercut. I think there's no doubting the Zengaffinen brothers are definitely talented drivers, but they're just lacking a bit of consistency.
Lacking the experience, of course, as well. They just started at the end of the season to participate in the eRacing Championship. Maybe they're strong contenders for next year, but this season it's all about gaining the experience and scoring a few points here.
I guess we can only hope. It's certainly good signs from the Swiss duo. As DRS was open there for Zengaffinen down into turn 2. Lucas Auer also with DRS open, looking to try and pile on the pressure. He'll have a lot more DRS now, although Zengaffinen also has the DRS from Ivanov ahead.
But we have to go to the front, because Heinemann has to defend, and Siggy's diving.
That's a real late maneuver, and it's really not worked out well. He just about cuts off the nose of Kunze. That was a lunge and a half from Siggy, though. My word, trying his best to do something there. It didn't work out, and meanwhile, it looks like Ivanov has got... Oh, no, it looks... No, never mind. They were just battling. It doesn't matter. Heinemann staying ahead, though. That's the main thing.
And that was the move from Siggy. Siggy's aggressive here in this race. He wants his first win. Oh, Auer into 7th.
Yeah,
Auer into 7th.
Yep, Zengaffinen, I noticed those two were going into battle. I saw Zengaffinen take Ivanov, but it seems like the two of them came into contact, and Auer has benefited massively. Staying behind has provided the rewards. He's up to P7.
And it's just so cool to see. I mean, he drives this car in real life, and the other guys, they spend a lot of time on their simulators on the computer to prepare, and he didn't have the time to prepare. And he just jumps in, and because it's so similar to the real DTM car, he just immediately finds the pace, and he's running in the top 10. He's running in the points.
It's a fantastic showing so far, as behind Ivanov and Zengaffinen continue to battle away. Oh, wow, that is someone going well off the track. Is that Ivanov? Yes, it is. Yeah. And Lucas Auer will be hoping that those two keep on battling amongst themselves, so we can try and pull a little bit of a gap, maybe try and close in on Banki, who's gained 3 seconds in all of those proceedings. So really nice job from the Slovakian to pull away. He's having a really solid race overall, actually. Here comes Kevin Siggy, though. And, well, I was expecting a one-car, a one-horse race, however you want to put it. I was expecting maybe a closer battle behind for the podium, but no. As always, the Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition continues to provide 4-way battle for the lead, and unfortunately for Lucas Auer, he's not involved in it, and he's already lost P7 to Zengaffinen once again.
Pass in the hairpin, always with the help of DRS. It's very easy to start an attack in this corner, but you have to get your car stopped in time. You could see Kevin Siggy having a little bit of trouble with that. Oh, Ivanov sideways and Madsen in the background, way off the circuit. These cars are not easy to drive.
That's one thing I forgot, actually. Auer did not have the DRS that time around, did he? And Zengaffinen most certainly did, so he needs to pull out massive sectors if he's... To be fair, I think he overtook at the wrong point in the track, didn't he? He wants to overtake at the hairpin so he can use the rest of the circuit to then try and pull away as best he can. We're almost halfway through this race, though, and it is Heinemann who leads, only just though from Siggy and Kunze.
Now they're coming up to the straight, and this is of course the place where the DRS matters the most. And now we can take a look here from the rear camera of Tim Heinemann, and you can see the 21, Kevin Siggy Revenak, closing in.
It's ever so tight, isn't he? He's going to go to the inside, Tim Heinemann, to defend once again. And I think Siggy's going to try and go clean around the outside, maybe try and find an undercut. Heinemann, though, very smart driving. He's cut off the apex pretty well. Kunze did try to go for the undercut, and Siggy did not work either. And you have to feel like Siggy's going to have to try something a bit different here as Lucas Auer retakes that P7. Now he's got a bit of work ahead of him to try and escape the DRS tow.
Lucas Buron here, the
Oh, it's
newcomer.
Kunze.
Oh,
Kunze's
Kunze
ahead of
passed.
Siggy.
Oh, contact.
Well, I'm only guessing that he was able to use a little bit of DRS there. But Kunze is ahead of Siggy and his maiden move stick.
Yeah, it goes so quickly from attacking to defending for Kevin Siggy-Rebernack, and now he's lost the second position. And now Julian Kunze, who also hasn't won a race this season, he's finished second, I think, 4 times this season. He has to catch Heinemann now, but that was a mistake by Kunze. That was not a great line. Should still be in the DRS window, though, for the next lap.
This is eerily similar to Spielberg, Rob. There's Jaroslav Honzik, waiting away in P4, just seeing everyone ahead of him battling. You almost get the feeling as if history could very well repeat itself here, and a little bit of mishap could give the Czech driver an instant podium.
Yeah, it could happen, but Tim Heinemann, he's looking on form in this race. His defense has been excellent so far.
It's not even pace-wise, is it? It's just he's driving very well.
Yeah, he's just always closing the door, and then he also, when Siggy's going for a dive, he's just leaving him the room, just takes the position back on the cutback. It's just really smart driving.
A mature display from Tim Heinemann there, as then Gaffinen, I notice, back up into P7, although not for long. He went very deep into the corner. Auer's had a really bad exit, and then Gaffinen with the DRS is going to easily take that position back. It's a good scrap, actually, going on in the bottom half of the top 10. Really nice and clean stuff between all drivers involved, and this battle now really does stretch outside the top 10 as well. And Gaffinen, Auer, Ivanov, Madsen, Benitez involved in there as well. Although, actually, sorry, not Benitez, my bad, Schön.
Yeah, Daniel Schön here bringing up the... Oh, das ist Gaffinen!
Oh, buys in Gaffinen, and a very late avoiding maneuver there.
Oh, and Ivanov, yeah, he loses out.
He was so caught out there, wasn't he? Completely blindsided by the spinning Zengaffinen ahead, who unbelievably is still inside the points in P10, but that's that consistency which is lacking, which we were talking about before. And, well, Auer just seems to be stuck to this P7 now. He can't get rid of it.
Oh, side by side here. That's Benitez. He's losing a position to Lucas Buron, the Czech driver, but we have to go back to the front because Kunze is now attacking Heinemann.
Is Kunze through on Heinemann already?
He's on the outside.
Let's see.
Oh, contact. Kunze turns in a bit early there.
Or was it just Heinemann having a little bit of a late turn in himself, you might say? Kunze, though, is very eager to get past, isn't he? You can absolutely tell that much. Tries to go around the outside of the hairpin at the Mercedes arena, and he's got a little bit of purchase here going into turn 13. Not going to happen, though. Heinemann stays ahead. His defending has been impervious so far. How long can he hold out, though? The drivers behind him are getting impatient, and the pace to pull away is simply not there for the German who won months ago.
But I think it's not really the pace which is the problem. It's just that DRS has such a huge effect on this track. So we have to see, because you can see out of the corners Heinemann is looking really strong. We've only really seen that from Kiefli this season, the way he's accelerating out of the corners. Oh, a bit wide here, but all of the drivers are actually leaving the curb. Kunze is still in the DRS though, so he should be able to launch another attack coming into the hairpin.
That was a late break. Really late break there from Kunze. A little bit of a wiggle on exit. That's okay. He can recover that. DRS now comes into effect once again. All three drivers behind Heinemann will have it to stay in touch. I feel like Kunze's going to have to go for a lunge here if he wants to get it done. Once again, though, he goes to the outside and he commits to the outside. Heinemann going defensive. He pulls back in to cover the line. And will Kunze go for the undercut? Once again, just not possible.
Oh, Siggy makes a bit of contact with Kunze there. And that just gives Heinemann a lot of breathing space here for the remainder of the lap.
As Madsen there up into P7.
How did he do that? Oh, Auer on the outside.
And that's Schön there, who's looking to get past. Auer just not with the pace to pull away from the DRS zones. So Madsen up into P7, and this should be Schön going up into P8 as well. He brakes later on the outside, but here comes Auer on the inside. And he is able to hold on just for now, but an important move there for Madsen. It's very unlikely that things are going to go his way now, but you do never know.
He's trying to recover, and he's back in P7, so that's looking very good for him. But Hasse in 5th place. Hasn't really done anything this race, just drives consistently as we know him. And it's looking like he will qualify for the final event.
It's consistency rewarded. It's been one of the many themes of this championship this season. And of course, we'll have to see how the next 4.5 minutes play out. The win still very much to be decided, and Kunze noticeably closer. This is much closer, isn't it, Rob, than it was a lap ago. A good exit from Heinemann, but Kunze is very close indeed. DRS in effect. Heinemann is going to go to the inside, as he always does, but Kunze is going to try and power past him before they've even hit the corner. And indeed, he is ahead. Heinemann with a late braking maneuver. Kunze trying to go clean around the outside. He is ahead, and noticeably so as well. That is a really good move there from Kunze. He was patient. He took his time. He made his attacks, and he's made this one stick. Julian Kunze takes the lead of this race, and now Heinemann instantly has to think about Kevin Siggy attacking behind now.
Heinemann has no DRS for the remainder of this lap. He will get it next lap, but this lap he's vulnerable to Kevin Siggy, who's behind him.
We'll have to see whether Heinemann can actually respond to Kunze as well with DRS of his own. Just how much...
Oh, mistake from Kunze there.
He was pulling away nicely as well, wasn't he? But he's been wrapped back in. How much effect will DRS have on the closing stages of this race? Let's have a little bit of quick maths James going on here. Hours back into 7th, you can't take it away from him. I reckon, Rob, we're going to have probably 3 more laps of action here. I reckon we're going to be seconds before we hit 0, before we head on to the final lap.
Heinemann! How did he save that?
Big mistake from Heinemann. The only thing that really saved him was that Siggy was making as equally big a mistake behind him. Jaroslav Honzik says, oh, contact between Heinemann, and this might just be...
he spun off. Oh, and Honzik collected him.
Well, this might actually allow Hasse to catch up as well. Yeah, it has. It's difficult to see where the blame can lie there, but it's given Hasse a free podium for now, at least.
Oh, and Heinemann will be furious, because I don't think he did anything wrong in the entire race. He drove one of the cleanest performances we've ever seen, and he's not rewarded.
That did seem like a mistake from Siggy, didn't it? If you were to lay blame anywhere, of course, we don't have the advantage of replays, sadly. And so it'll be one for the stewards to take a look at in retrospect. But for now, it looks like Tim Heinemann's hopes of winning the race are well and truly over. And here comes Hasse, with a little bit of a late break there, but Heinemann retakes the podium, at least solace for now.
Hasse now on the outside against Honzik, and that's a forceful move from Honzik.
He wants to stick with Heinemann, doesn't he? He wants that podium. And Hasse back down to P5, I think. To be fair, though, right move from Hasse, just don't fight it too much. You're scoring points, you're doing exactly what you need to qualify.
Yeah, and this guy here, he's looking like he will take his first win of the season. Julian Kunze, that was exactly what he needed. Contact between Siggy Revanak and Heinemann, and now he's looking like no one can stop him in this race.
Yeah, the only other person who might have been able to stop them was Honzik, and well, he got caught up in the incident. It was luck went his way last time. The luck did not shine on him this time around, collected by Heinemann's car. As still the battle in the lower half of the top 10 raging on.
Someone's off in the background. I think that's Cihan, yeah.
Yeah. A shame for the Turkish driver again. Someone with decent potential, just needs to find a bit of consistency. But what a battle we have here, Rob. Auer, Shun, who's up into 8th. Madsen, who's now down to 9th. Zengaffinen, 10th. Ivanov still in there, as well as Lucas Auer goes into battle with Daniel Shun. He goes on the inside, the German driver. And that should be game, set, and match. A really nice, neat little move.
Oh no, Auer!
Oh, and Auer's been able to save it. Is he going to be able to get back on the track in 10th position? No! He's outside of the points! Oh boy, I think we might get one more lap still to try and get it. But after all the hard work he's done, to not come away with a top 10 position would be gutting for Lucas at this stage.
Such a nice race from him. And then he's just a bit unlucky on the exit there. Not a lot of room given by Schön, but I think it was enough. He just got a bit sideways on the throttle. Let's see, Julian Kunze, when does he cross the line? Will be one more lap.
So, seconds in it, he probably could have slowed down and won the race there and then, to be fair, Rob. But there's the fun in that way. He can have a victory lap all to himself. Back with Jaroslav Honzik here in P4. He's looking for the podium. I think Kevin Siggy will get P2. He's already qualified as well, so any penalty will probably mean out, unfortunately, as well. It's all up to Tim Heinemann to really secure this final podium position from Honzik and Hasse, who's keeping in close pursuit. Sean there up to P7, and Ivanov's had a bit of a trouble. He's off the road, or is he? No, it was just a timing beam glitch. My apologies. Ivanov's still in 10th with Daniel Schön and Nick Manson.
We have to go to Heinemann, though.
Heinemann under pressure from Honzik here. Honzik going around the outside. Heinemann going to take that wider line. Oh, but that's clean around the outside again. He's been done in exactly the same place. He's been found out, Tim Heinemann. The defensive strategy, which has worked so well for 18 minutes of this race, unfolding before his very eyes, and Honzik steals the podium away from him.
Our in 11th place could not gain a position in the hairpin, so now it's not looking good for him to score the first point of the VIP driver here in the series. We have to go back to the front, though. Oh, actually ahead of them, there's a close battle as well.
Yeah, we do have to go up to Kunze here, who's just coming around the final couple of corners. He was patient, and when he took his chances, he took them well. He rounds the final corner. He becomes our 4th and final race winner of the season. It's Julian Kunze winning at home. Fantastic drive from him. Kevin Siggy Rebenak. Oh, questions will be asked on how legitimate that P2 is, but he takes it nonetheless. Jaroslav Honzik rounding out.
Oh,
As we got to really look at this battle, we'll go over the final positions. My word, so close between all of the final.
Oh no!
Final contact there. Lucas Auer going rally crossing across the line. How on earth that occurred, I do not know, but the congestion was mental. Just to go through your final results, Heinemann takes P4, perhaps very unfairly, you'd have to say. Hasse 5th, he qualifies, he's in the top 6. So confirmed are the 6 drivers to go into the final. Barnke in 6th with Madsen 7th, and Gaffin in 8th, Benitez 9th. Auer somehow managed to get 10th out of that with Ivanov missing out. Wojcescu our only retirement, Siggy with the fastest lap. We will be back after these messages to dissect a mental end to that race. So, welcome back then to the closing stages of the main season for our Mercedes AMG Motorsport eRacing competition, powered by Raceroom. And Rob, that was a race of power plays, you would say. People taking significant chances at significant moments to make gains, and ultimately for Julian Kunze, he made big gains on Siggy, big gains on Heinemann, and although he had already qualified, nice to know that he is a race winner. And for Hasse as well, consistency paying off. He becomes our final driver to qualify for the final.
Yeah, so we've got the top 6 here for the final event. Just remember, it's on the 13th of October in the afternoon. The exact date of the race will be announced shortly, and the top 6 drivers of the eRacing competition, they will compete against the 6 DTM drivers. And Lucas Auer has shown today they're quite competitive.
It's going to be an exciting event indeed. And moving on to driver interviews, hopefully, Rob, I'm curious to get the thoughts of Kevin Siggy at the very least, because there was certainly an interesting move there. But I think we'll start, if everything's all right, with Julian Kunze here. Julian, you have won the final race of the season. A fantastic effort. And ultimately, well, you got a bit of feedback in your mic there, by the way, but there's 2 major moves that you made there. One on Siggy, one on Heinemann. You must be delighted with that.
Yeah, hello. It was a really amazing race, and maybe I start with the qualifying. I wasn't so confident on the track, although I trained very well for it, and yeah, just managed to start it from 4th position. Yeah, tried to run as traffic, what happens really good, and yeah, I had very nice fights with Yaroslav, Kevin, and Tim. And yeah, for the final attack against Tim, I think he thought that I would change the line and try to cross him out of the corner. But I just broke late, overtook him from the outside, and yeah, after that I saw them dropping back, and then something must have happened, because Kevin was then after that 4 seconds behind and just bring it home then.
Yeah, something did indeed happen. Sounds like I got a lawnmower in the back there, Julian. But either way, you've known that you've qualified for the final at the live Hockenheim ring for a week or so now. You must be pretty excited to test your mettle against the Mercedes DTM drivers, and especially having Lucas Auer in this race as an early benchmark. You must be feeling pretty confident about representing eRacing well.
Yeah, definitely. But the Mercedes-Benz drivers also practiced for the last time, and they were pretty well prepared for it. I thought Felix Rosenqvist was sixth in the end, so they are also really good on the simulator. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the final and meet all the guys.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on your race win, Julia. Great to see another man step on top of the podium. Much appreciated for your time. And so now we're hopefully going to move on to Kevin Sigin. Yo, Kevin. You were once again in the battle for the win. But unfortunately, bit of contact with Hyman put a stop to your plans.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him really. I just tapped his rear and he spun like 5 seconds later. I was still there for the win. Yeah, I was trying my best, but I'll take second place, and I mean, it's good enough for me.
I mean, at the end of the day as well, you've qualified for the final, and I guess as much as we can say, oh, you know, look how many wins this person has had. Oh, look, this person's won a race in the main season. The big thing is going to be doing well in that race. So how prepared are you for the final? It's a big occasion for all eRacing, to be honest.
I'm not prepared fully yet because I still need to do some more practicing on the track and do some setup work, and we'll see how it goes on Friday.
For sure. Have you had much chance to talk with Lucas Auer at all, of course, since he is a countryman of yours? He's going to be driving against you, of course, in a couple of weeks' time.
No, I didn't have a chat with him yet. I mean, I hope I will on Friday, but at the moment, I didn't do anything with him.
Well, fingers crossed you become good friends. I'm sure that you will. It's always, well, mind you, actually, you see some countrymen completely hate each other, but I'm sure that won't be the case with you two anyway. Congratulations on your P2 either way. Kevin, I'm saying that a lot. Never mind me. I'm rambling on for time. Much appreciate your time, though, and we'll move on to our final interview of the day. Yaroslav Honzik, you tried to employ the same strategy. I saw you as last time at Spielberg. You were staying behind, you were staying calm, you were waiting for things to kick off in front of you. Unfortunately, where things went right for you at Spielberg, you found a car in your way here today. Very unlucky, but still a podium to come home with. It is positives at least.
Of course, I'm positive with the podium. It's great. And as you said, I was doing the same strategy as in Spielberg. I was saving my tires, and I really didn't have any pace in the start. I let Julian pass me, and I was just trying to hold in the DRS and waiting for the last 5 minutes to attack the guys in front of me. And unfortunately for me, the team just spin around and in front of me. There was nothing I could do really, and just that was end of my race.
Are you allowed to divulge that you're going to be using the same tactics at the final? Because I somehow imagine that it's going to be a little bit more serious, almost. You know, we have, like, I mean, obviously people like yourself, like so many other drivers here, they take these things really competitively, and so they should. You know, there's big prizes on the line to be won, but it almost feels like there's going to be a different atmosphere when it comes to facing the Mercedes drivers. This is a final do or die event, so is it going to be the same tactic for you, or are you going to think about switching up, perhaps?
Well, it's hard to say. I think everything will be really different because we will be just racing side by side, and we will be on a different steering wheels, different setups, different everything, different more nerves, more people around us, and everything. It will be really difficult for everyone to concentrate. And I think that as all the championship, I think the same strategy works for everyone. You just have to hold the top guys. You have to stay in the DRS zone and just wait for last 4 minutes to attack. So I think it will be the same thing all over again in the last race.
Sounds like you've got a plan, Yaroslav. Well done on your podium. Regardless, it was another cracking race from all of you. And honestly, Rob, it's been a cracking season to commentate over. It's been wonderful to see what was originally just a one-event championship expand out to something which is now 9 online events, 1 final live event as well. And I guess all we can say is thank you to the audience for tuning in, and we can only hope that more good things are going to happen from here.
Yeah, and I hope you will all tune in for the final event. You can see it on the screen, October 13th. And that's a very special challenge. All the DTM drivers will be there, and we've seen Lucas Oil today. We've seen how good he is, even on the simulator. And they will all be on the same equipment, racing from the Mercedes AMG Hospitality for a one-off race for the big prizes. And I hope you tune in. I want to say thank you, James, for commentating with me here for the online part of the season. It's been a pleasure. I want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in and enjoyed our races. It's been a great experience, and I hope to see you all at the final event. That's it from me.
Thank you very much. And also make sure, guys, don't take the Mercedes drivers lightly. They're going to be prepared for that final event. And so all is up in the air. No reason not to tune in, really. I'll be watching as well with bated breath. Thank you once again, Rob. It's been a pleasure, as I said before, to commentate with you throughout the season. Thank you to all the drivers who've taken time after the events to come and chat with us. It's been fascinating to learn the thoughts, to get inside the minds of the drivers afterwards. And thank you all once again at home for watching. It's been a real treat, and we hope to see you not only in 2 weeks' time, but next year, hopefully, as well. I've been James Kirk. He's been Robert Wiesenmuller. And from all of us here, it is a very warm goodbye.